Hi, I'm Shane Phillips, the CEO for the Phillips Group, and I'm here at the Hakama Corporate Governance Conference in Dubai with Dr. Sarper Tanli, the operating partner for TVM Capital and CEO for Manzil Healthcare Services. Welcome, Dr. Sarper.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. So maybe you can give us some insight as a private equity investor. How are you utilizing corporate governance?
Sure. I think that as an investor, but also specifically private equity, it becomes very critical at this time and where we operate. TVM Capital Healthcare Partners been in this region almost 10 years, but with a history of 30 years international investment equity and private equity as well as the venture capital. So governance has two levels of engagement for the investment point of view. One is the follow the rules of how to invest, how to be transparent, and how to really manage the shareholders and their shareholders' expectations. Because as you're a private equity, when you come in to any company to grow them, or with the expectations, obviously you carry a lot of responsibility. The people put money into your fund. But even when you come in with the other people as a co-partners, you still have the responsibility to make sure that the rules of engagement is followed, in not only in the boardroom, but also for the reporting mechanisms, as well as how each company acts and reacts in the areas of their expertise. So I'll give you a couple of examples on this. And for example, there is international guidelines for investment and transparency, and to follow those investments specifically for the venture capital and private equity firms in Europe and overall. And our chairman actually was very instrumental developing these guidelines. So those guidelines tell you how in terms of managing the funds and managing the transparency on the report, managing accounts is very important. So, and obviously for every company, the financials are critical, and then you need to have the governance and right audit mechanism in place. So that means that you need to carry that into the boardroom. You need to carry that into your agenda to discuss. And you need to be also very candid and open and clear that boardroom, I call it dead face, and rather than very active and understanding and overall. Because if you engage your shareholders, if you engage your board members, and for them to understand the business better, and when you show them all the relevant information, that becomes a much more healthier company to move forward. Then you can have a faster, quicker, and much more precise decisions to be able to do it. So we really use the governance by following those investment guidelines, and then obviously bring that entire practice into the boardroom, making sure that everybody is comfortable along with our practice on the day-to-day operations all the way to that level. When I mentioned that also the companies that we invest, they do have obviously other responsibilities that we looked into. One of them is the ESG, environment, society, and governance piece, environment, social, and governance. So we require for every company that we invest to develop and measure themselves for the international ESG rules. And we look at those companies, how do they do in terms of their impact to the environment, from the waste point of view, for any other things that they affect the environment, and because every business in different way that they affect the environment, and from a usage to waste and everything else, but also their social responsibility is very important, right? And then that companies itself, how do they take the boardroom governance down to their operations is very important. And so that means that decision-making processes, and to be able to raise your hand if they see a red flag, and that culture is very important. So with those implementations that create that culture, it only comes with utilizing certain tools. ESG is one of our tools that we look into, and we look into definitely every company to the corporate social responsibility. Then the very important part, I think this region, and I think this is in the entire globe, but this region also is a very important close to us. The diversity is a very important part for us. So we believe that diversity is a major part of the governance, which I mean the gender, as well as the overall composition of the team members. So I mean, we live in a country that around now, what is the latest number? Around 170 different nationalities live in this place, and we're in the country that they have the most engagement with the different cultures and open to all these cultures. So that needs to be really reflected in your boardroom and as well as in your team, that how you manage that, how you put the team in place. So gender diversity is very important for us. For example, TVM invested companies, and 40% of them has a 50% female board members. The company that I manage, Manzil Healthcare Services, and 50% of our board members are female, and 50% of my management team female. So that's obviously is very important for us to continue that, and then also look into how you can give the right opportunity and then the same equal opportunity to everyone, and not only for the gender but also for their background and nationality is very important.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sarper. I really appreciate your sharing your insights with us.
Thank you.